Tuna classification. Tuna comprise one of the most important species on Earth in terms of consumption as well as economic value. The 8 species belonging to the family Tunas are the most significant in terms of catch weight and trade than some of their close relatives such as the bonitos. The albacore are a highly migratory species, sometimes traveling entire hemispheres. Traveling in schools, masses of albacore can sometimes be up to 19 miles wide. Albacore is also the only tuna that can be marketed as white meat tuna. The southern bluefin are found in the southern hemisphere portions of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. They migrate long distances as well as vertically through the water column, reaching depths of up to 2,500 meters. The big eye is a tropical tuna, found in warm waters in the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans. It will often be seen schooling with yellowfin and skipjack at the surface. Pacific bluefin tuna are found in the northern Pacific Ocean. They're not quite as coveted as their Atlantic bluefin relatives. Despite being overfished, they do not appear particularly threatened in any way. The Atlantic bluefin tuna are perhaps the largest bony fish on the planet, rivaling the blue marlin, the black marlin, and the swordfish. They're the most sought-after fish in the world's sushi market, especially in Japan. They're also popular for sport fishing because of their size, quickness, and power. Yellowfin are mainly found in deep offshore waters of the Caribbean Sea as well as in the Indian Ocean, but can also be found worldwide. They are caught mostly using encircling nets and industrial longlines. Blackfin are the smallest tuna species. Their lifespan is considerably shorter than other tuna. They may only live to be 5 or 6 years old, while other tuna such as the bluefin can live to be almost 40. Longtail are found in the Indian Ocean and Western Pacific Oceans. They're often confused for bluefin because of their appearance, but in fact they are more slender and have smaller fins than bluefin. Skipjack are difficult to place taxonomically. Their appearance is much more like a bonito than the other tuna. They're considered a tuna because of their meat, and they dominate world tuna markets with collective multi-million catch earnings each year.
The bluefin is a pelagic, schooling fish. They tend to group together according to size. Atlantic bluefin can reach lengths of more than 10 feet and weights of up to a ton and can swim at speeds over 40 miles per hour when chasing prey or being hunted themselves. They're also capable of diving to deeper than 3,000 feet. These migratory animals have been known to swim across the Atlantic, covering a distance of nearly 5,000 miles. Somehow, bluefin managed to return to the same offshore locations over about a 4-decade lifetime. Bluefin has unique features that enable it to accomplish such feats. Tuniform swimming is a lift-based propulsion mode characterized by minimal lateral body undulation. Also characterized by concentration of thrust production at the rapidly oscillating lunate caudal fin. Among teleos, only tunas use this swimming mode, and comparisons with other scombroids show that tuniform swimming is a derived tuna characteristic resulting from modification of ancestral features, including body and caudal fin shape, myotomal architecture, red muscle position, and its connections with the skin and skeleton. The shift in red muscle position favored a reduction in its thermal conductance and may have preceded or co-evolved with endothermy. Structural modifications for tuniform swimming include a more anterior point of maximum body thickness and accentuation of posterior body tapering, pendicular narrow necking, development of the dense anterior corselet scale layer, accentuation of grooves for paired and median fins, and increases in lateral keel area and caudal fin aspect ratio. These body shape modifications increase streamlining and minimize anterior body undulation and are accompanied by alteration in myotomal architecture that affects swimming biomechanics and kinematics. Tuna myotomes have longer cones, and the red muscle is in the anterior medial body position, unique to tunas and lamnid sharks. Regional connections of tuna red muscle to the skin are reduced, supplanted by robust tendon connections within the horizontal septum and longer lateral tendons connecting to the caudal fin. The ratio of output motion at the tail to input motion due to red muscle shortening is greater in tunas than in other scombroids. This is reflected in the higher tail beat frequency and reduced lateral displacement along the body in tunas relative to comparably sized bonitos and mackerels swimming at similar speed. Bluefin can tolerate extreme changes in water temperature from 80 degrees down to 46 degrees that enables them to chase prey in the deep. Bluefins are homeothermic and are therefore able to thermoregulate, keeping their body temperatures higher than the surrounding water, which is why they are so well adapted to their cold water environments. They have sophisticated eyes and other sensory systems that also work in the cold darkness. The explanation for their astonishing navigational abilities remains mysterious. Maybe that bluefin's acute sense of smell enables them to create a chemical map of the ocean, but it's also possible that they may use celestial navigation or rely upon sensing the Earth's magnetic field. Researchers have found that another species, the yellowfin, has magnetite in its brain, which might facilitate magnetic navigation. Many fishermen are convinced that bluefin tuna are exceptionally intelligent and able to figure out fishing tactics and adjust to human predation. While there is research to substantiate that impression, bluefin may develop evasive tactics as a result of other dangers.
Tuna, and specifically the bluefin tuna, are a high migration species. They take part in two kinds of migration during its lifespan. One is to seek food, and the other is to spawn. They are able to migrate in far distances because they are warm-blooded and swift swimmers. They can travel up to 72.5 kilometers per hour. Tuna usually reach maturity at about 4 to 5 years old in the eastern Atlantic and 8 years old in the western Atlantic. Tuna will usually have their peak spawning periods in the summer months, which is June or July. Their egg production depends on how old they are. If a tuna is 5 years old, it can produce about 5 million eggs. If it is able to reach the age of 15 to 20 years old, it can produce almost 10 times more of the amount. Hatching will occur after an incubation period of 2 days. At that point, the tuna will turn into larvae, where they will grow 1 millimeter per day until they reach the weight of 40 to 80 kilograms. Most of these larvae are found in shallow water with a temperature of 24 to 25 degrees Celsius until they become adults. Now we're going to see how the oil spill affected so many tuna as they spawn in the Gulf of Mexico.
Endangered and threatened tuna species. The Atlantic albacore typically inhabits warm waters of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. A highly migratory species requires managing their stocks through cooperative international efforts. The Atlantic albacore stock has been below target levels since the late 1960s and is currently at 62% of its target population. This is due to overfishing. However, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, as well as the International Commission for the Conservation of Atlantic Tunas, is working together to protect this animal. The Atlantic bigeye is also a highly migratory species. It is not currently being overfished, and there are positive signs that its numbers are increasing to target levels. There are two stocks of Pacific bigeye populations, the Western and Central Pacific stock and the Eastern Pacific stock. The Eastern Pacific bigeye stock is currently above target levels, while the Western and Central Pacific stocks are in decline due to overfishing. Bluefin tuna are the largest and most long-lived tuna species, living up to 40 years. They are slow-growing and late to mature, and this has seriously affected them when it comes to industrial fishing methods. There are 3 species of bluefin tuna: the Atlantic bluefin, Pacific bluefin, and Southern bluefin. Here are examples of the Southern bluefin tuna and the Atlantic bluefin tuna. Here's an example of the Pacific bluefin tuna. Pacific bluefin tuna is managed as a single stock and is primarily found in the North Pacific Ocean. Commercial and recreational fisheries for Pacific bluefin tuna have existed for thousands of years, dating back to the development of sushi and sashimi markets in the 1970s and 1980s. The Pacific bluefin tuna is highly overfished, and this has caused its numbers to drop 96%. Increasing the dramatic effects of this overfishing are the fact that juveniles are often caught before they reach reproductive maturity. Pacific bluefin are extremely close to extinction. The Atlantic bluefin tuna is the most prized of bluefin tuna species. The Atlantic bluefin populations are below sustainable levels due to overfishing. Because of the high demand in fishery markets, Atlantic bluefin tuna will be unable to recover without increased conservation methods. There are reports of a single Atlantic bluefin tuna being sold for over $1.75 million. Southern bluefin tuna are critically endangered, and the estimated spawning stock biomass has declined approximately 85% over the past 36 years. Many scientists believe that the only hope for rebuilding the stock is a complete shutdown of all southern bluefin fisheries. Here are a list of some conservation organizations, most notably the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, as well as the International Commission for the Conservation of Atlantic Tunas.